Thanks for tuning in. I've got something I consider to be fairly special today. One of those trendy, yet old-timey modern conglomerations, with the turntable, CD recorder, and radio, all thrown into one kind of unit. It's the Lauson CL506, and we're getting into it right now. It arrived in a manner of packaging I'd expect for something like this, and all I had to do was set my own stereo receiver to the side and put the Lauson in its place. The Lauson won't power external speakers, but it will output through RCA jacks to a receiver, which is a feature I deeply appreciate. More on that later. The first thing I noticed after setting it up was the old-fashioned styling, which was neither under nor overdone for my taste. A pair of sort of wispy, curvy wooden trims, flanked by the cloth speaker grills I'm used to seeing on vintage electronics, complements the solid, almost intimidating control panel between the two speakers. I don't think this panel is made of metal, but the distressed brass appearance certainly is convincing enough for me not to give a care what's under there, if I'm honest. My only complaint about the appearance of the CL506 is its plasticky looking red radio tuner needle. I'd much prefer it if it were either black to match the dials, or some sort of silver or brass veneer. Then again, I may just be too young to remember if in fact there were red needles on radios during the time period this product is emulating. The controls feel solid though, and the power button is very satisfying to press, so I think I can forgive the red needle. Sound quality and volume are both respectable. It's enough to fill my average sized bedroom where I set up this unit, and I expect it to do just fine in a typical living room. It's not the best sound I've ever heard, but it's good enough that I'd say you probably don't need to connect any external speakers. Up top is the main event, the most important feature on the CL506, the turntable. I dare say they didn't skimp up here. Short of making it fully automatic, I don't think there's anything they could have done to make it any better than it already is. There's a convenient lever for raising and lowering the tone arm, and a switch to turn on or off the auto stop feature, and a selector which provides all three major speeds, 33.5, 45, and even 78 RPM. There's even an adapter for records with larger holes, and a slot to accommodate large albums that still manages to keep them from sticking out the back of the machine, reducing the dust that may fall onto the vinyl when the player is not in use. Sound quality from the turntable is darn good, and I can confirm from the recordings it makes that it's stereo output, which is crucial and great to see. Speaking of the recordings, it can record your vinyl onto a flash drive or SD card, though I wouldn't say that this is an audiophile's vinyl recorder. While it does record in stereo, which is the first thing I checked, the recording is at 128 kilobits per second, which is far less than is required to sate the discerning ear of a vinyl fanatic. It does record in stereo though, and at 44/100 kHz, which is decent, so I've got to give it that. For my taste, I'm pretty hooked on big speakers, so I'm hooking this thing up to my receiver so I can rock my albums on my system. And the Lauson is great for that. The RCA outputs on the back make it dead simple to hook up to a bigger system, turning this into a perfect addition to my setup, which lacks a CD player or a record player. It's a win-win for me. Overall, I definitely recommend the CL506 to anyone who wants to listen to their vinyl or CD collection, and either isn't overly picky about speakers or has their own to connect to it. It looks super classy and feels solidly built for sure. A welcome addition to a setup where form and function are equally important.